Welcome to The Growth Kit, a podcast where science and actionable advice intersect to help you live a better life. 9 healthy car habits for your commute. The average person spends about 18 days of the year in their car. That time can be spent listening to the formulaic complaining on sports radio while getting annoyed at the traffic around you, or it can be spent becoming healthier. Yes, you can develop healthy car habits to not only manage stress and learn, but you can also become stronger while driving. Here are 9 ways to take advantage of that time spent on the commute. Number 1. Use the recirculate air button. One of the most important buttons in your car that affects your health might be one of the least used, the air recirculation button. This button serves the purpose of reducing the slew of outdoor pollutants, including exhaust emissions, from coming into the car cabin. When activated, the air recirculation button can effectively minimize these pollutants by up to 20% of the levels typically encountered on the road. Hee-Jung Jung, the lead author of one study, reports, when you recirculate, cabin air goes through the multiple times, basically reducing particle concentration to a very low concentration. It is a matter of how long you recirculate and at what blower speed or flow rates. Unless you're driving on roads that are not congested, then it's best to keep this button activated, but there's a catch. Keeping it activated for too long can also cause health concerns. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out CO2, so if there's no air entering the vehicle, then these CO2 levels can build up. This excess of CO2 can lead to drowsiness and headaches. Typical outdoor CO2 levels hover around the 400 ppm range. Roadways are 500 ppm, and indoor environments are up to 1,000 ppm. When we're in a small environment for an extended period of time, such as a car, then CO2 levels can climb quickly to thousands of ppm. When levels exceed 5,000 ppm, then symptoms can include cognitive impairments and drowsiness. Jung told me that it is also a function of how long you are exposed to that concentration. The longer you are in a high CO2 environment, the more likely you experience these symptoms and the more severe the symptoms can be. So if the choice is between inhaling exhaust fumes or being confined to high CO2 levels, what do you do? Fortunately, Jung and his team of researchers set out to determine this answer. In Jung's study titled Simultaneously Reducing CO2 and Particulate Exposures via Fractional Recirculation of Vehicle Cabin Air, he tested a variety of recirculation scenarios and confirmed that using the recirculation system with a standard cabin filter reduced pollution but led to elevated CO2 levels. When the fan was set to high for recirculation, there was a significant increases in CO2 levels during 100% recirculation. When the recirculation fan speed was set to 50 to 75%, it maintained lower CO2 levels in the cabin while still reducing particulate levels. The answer: keep the recirculation button activated with the fan speed set to 50 to 75%. The other alternative is to crack your windows open every 10 to 15 minutes to normalize the CO2 levels. Some other things to consider. Make sure you have a good carbon filter for your car for the air to circulate through. If you're having any symptoms of high levels of CO2, headache, tired, etc., then crack the window for a bit. Using the recirculation button tends to trap moisture in the car, which increases the chances of fogging the windows. If you really want to take this to the next level, you can also buy a pretty inexpensive CO2 monitor on Amazon for about $30. Number 2. Use a lumbar support. When we stay in one position for long periods of time, such as in sitting in a car, our body conforms to that position, sometimes permanently. This sustained posture weakens the core while simultaneously restricting the range of motion in the trunk. This tightness-weakness combo leads to a negative feedback loop of more weakness and tightness, with the inevitable downstream destination of Pain Town. While mobility work outside of the car is a great way to mitigate these issues, I've found that using a lumbar support in the car is the best way to prevent this misalignment in the first place. Use this to maintain the natural lordotic arch of the lumbar spine, which also helps to improve the position of the pelvis, the thoracic spine, and even your head and neck. 3. Get a workout. While I've seen weirder things than using resistance bands and dumbbells in the car, shaving and playing the steering wheel with actual drumsticks are 2 that come to mind. There is a simpler and safer way to get in a workout. By using isometric exercises with the help of the steering wheel, I've ended some commutes with sweat running down my face. Try these out, but, disclaimer, make safe driving the priority, and stop the exercises if this is compromised. Do a circuit, completing 3 sets of 5 reps for each, holding each one for 5 to 10-second periods. Bonus: these exercises double as a core workout. Lat pushdown. Place your hands on the top of the steering wheel with both hands and push it down as hard as possible, engaging your entire body. External rotation. Place your hands on opposite sides of the steering wheel and pull apart as if you're trying to rip the wheel apart. Chest squeeze. Place your hands on opposite sides of the steering wheel and squeeze as if you're trying to compress the wheel inward. Isometric row. Place your hands on the sides of the steering wheel and pull back as if you're pulling it toward you. Glute squeeze. Contract your glute muscles as hard as possible. Number 4. Protect the skin to avoid photoaging. Getting adequate amounts of sun each day has been shown to improve your sleep, mood, risk of falls in the elderly, and even longevity. When we're sitting in a car, however, this all changes. The sun has 2 types of ultraviolet rays. The longer UVA rays, which penetrate to the second layer of skin and are responsible for wrinkles and skin aging, and the shorter UVB rays, which are responsible for DNA damage and sunburns. Technically speaking, there are UVC rays, but they never are absorbed by the ozone and never reach us down here. When ultraviolet rays hit your car windows, it's primarily the UVA rays that make it to your skin. This is because glass blocks nearly 100% of UVB rays, except for the windshield, which is treated to reduce UVA rays from passing through, according to skincancer.org. Too much of this unbalanced ultraviolet exposure, UVA rays without the UVB rays, means you're accelerating the age of your skin, also known as dermatoheliosis, or simply photoaging. Symptoms of photoaging include lost elasticity in the skin, uneven skin texture, wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and broken blood vessels. A dramatic picture of this was published by the New England Journal of Medicine in 2012, which highlighted a 69-year-old truck driver named Bill McElligott. Click the link to the article in the description of this podcast to see the incredible picture. There are a few options to help prevent this. Shade your windows. Using a sunshade is a great backseat option, especially if you have kids or other passengers who ride regularly. We've tried a variety of sunshades and found that the mesh window socks hold up the best and provide a lot of protection since they block the sun from 2 locations, the inside and the outside. For sliding doors, buy an alternative version such cling window covers. Check out the notes for my recommendations. Apply sunscreen. This sounded pretty weird to me when I first learned of the idea, but now I keep a bottle of natural sunscreen in my car door cup holder for those summer days where I'm a sitting duck. More on natural sunscreens here. Consider tinted windows. Number 5. Listen to podcasts and amp audiobooks. The other day I was sitting in 10-mile-per-hour traffic, slowly inching my way to the car ahead of me, when a massive truck moved from behind me to cut me off, only to sit in the same traffic, but 20 feet closer. I channeled my inner old man voice, thinking he'd be a lot less stressed if he was listening to a good book. It's only been in my adult years that I learned to love reading, and in that time I was a pretty staunch analog purist. Although I've been listening to podcasts since around 2004, listening to an audiobook just seemed like it would take away from the essence of the book. Then I listened to one, and my pretenses faded. These are my go-to apps for audiobooks and podcasts. Podcast Addict. There's a ton of ways to listen to podcasts nowadays, but I've stuck to what's worked for me for over a decade. Audible. Listen to thousands of books and podcasts available through Audible. Libby. Hook up your library card to the Libby app, and you can borrow audiobooks for free. On top of audiobooks, they also have ebooks and magazines. 6. Strengthen your grip. The strength of your grip has been shown to be a great predictor of overall health and longevity. When you're confined to a car, the best way to challenge this is with the use of a hand gripper, when you're stopped at red lights, of course. My favorites are Captain of Crush hand grippers, which are old school looking, but I'm pretty sure this thing will last longer than I will. I use the 100-pound one, which I keep in the car door cup holder area. Do sets of 5 to 15 reps per arm at every red light. 7. Don't use air fresheners. While they may seem harmless, air fresheners can release a cocktail of chemicals into the air you breathe, creating potential health hazards. From respiratory issues to allergic reactions, the use of air fresheners in your car warrants careful consideration. One of the primary concerns with air fresheners is the presence of volatile organic compounds, VOCs, in their formulas. These VOCs can be released into the air, leading to indoor air pollution inside your car. Studies have linked these compounds to various health problems, including respiratory irritation and headaches. The toxins in these air fresheners have even been linked to long-term health effects, such as damage to the liver, the kidneys, and the central nervous system. Some air fresheners also contain phthalates, a group of chemicals known to disrupt hormonal balance and potentially contribute to reproductive issues. Instead of traditional air fresheners with chemicals, try essential oil-based ones, or you could use a charcoal odor eliminator if you just want those smells sucked out of the car. Number 8. Get in control. One of the biggest reasons that cortisol levels skyrocket in that traffic jam isn't because we'll be late or it'll take longer to get to work or eat dinner, but rather, it's because we have a lost sense of control. The brain evolved to thrive under periods of control and hit the panic button during periods of uncertainty. The best way to manage this? Control what you can. You're not going to part the Red Sea of traffic, but you do have control of your mind. The two strategies I practice most often are breathwork and mindfulness. Pick one of the breathwork strategies mentioned in this article and practice it every time you hit that bottleneck traffic. My go-to is extended exhales when I hit the 95 South off-ramp to hop on the blue route. Do a mindfulness practice called the 5 Senses Challenge. Focus on each of your senses, observing and fully experiencing what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch in the present moment without judgment. Engage your attention intentionally, immersing yourself in each of the sensations. That's it. Finally, number 9, prevent EMF radiation. As our reliance on smartphones continues to grow, so does the concern over the potential health risk posed by electromagnetic field, EMF, radiation. A number of studies have raised questions about the possible long-term health implications of EMF radiation. Research has linked EMF radiation from phone use to abnormalities in oxidative stress, blood pressure, behavior, fertility, and endocrine system function, as well as a variety of forms of cancer. One of the primary concerns surrounding EMF radiation is its potential to generate heat in body tissues and increases the likelihood of cellular stress and potential damage. Fortunately, the intensity of EMF radiation decreases exponentially with distance. As more scientific research continues to surface, I advise using the precautionary principle, taking preventative action in the face of potential risks, even in the absence of complete scientific certainty, to minimize any health issues. Here are some ways to practice that in the car. If you don't have anyone sitting in the passenger seat, then let the phone sit on the far side of the passenger side seat. Use speakerphone or a wired headset when talking on the phone. Use a radiation-blocking phone case. Use airplane mode or turn off the phone. In conclusion, the time we spend in our cars doesn't have to be wasted or detrimental to our health. By adopting healthy car habits, we can make the most of our commute and even improve our strength and state of mind. One of the most important habits is using the air recirculation button in our cars to reduce exposure to outdoor pollutants. It's crucial to find the right balance by keeping the button activated with the fan speed set to 50 to 75% to maintain lower CO2 levels while still reducing particulate levels. Additionally, taking care of our physical well-being during the commute is essential. Using a lumbar support can help maintain a healthy posture, preventing long-term alignment issues and pain. Engaging in hand grip strengthening and isometric exercises with the help of the steering wheel can provide a mini workout and help strengthen our muscles. Furthermore, protecting our skin from the harmful effects of UV radiation by shading the windows, applying sunscreen, or considering tinted windows can prevent premature aging and skin damage. Engaging our minds through listening to podcasts and audiobooks can turn a stressful commute into an opportunity for personal growth and learning. Avoiding the use of air fresheners that release potentially harmful chemicals into the air is another healthy habit to adopt. Finally, regaining a sense of control by practicing breathwork, mindfulness, and taking precautions to reduce exposure to electromagnetic field, EMF radiation from our smartphones, can help manage stress and protect our well-being. By implementing these healthy car habits, we can transform our daily commute into a time of self-care, learning, and personal development. Instead of feeling frustrated or drained, We can utilize this time to enhance our physical and mental well-being, ultimately leading to a healthier and more fulfilling lifestyle. Disclaimer: the information provided in this article is for general informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional advice or vehicle maintenance. Follow your vehicle manufacturer's guidelines, local traffic laws, and consult qualified professionals for car-related concerns. MindBodyDad is not liable for any damages or accidents resulting from the application of this information. Prioritize safe driving practices at all times. Thanks for tuning into the Growth Kit podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. You can check out my website at mindbodydad.com and subscribe for more weekly insights sent to your inbox. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MindBodyDad.